Folks, what is cracking, man? I'm the Credit Savage. Welcome to my channel. It's been a while, I know. Having three kids makes things very interesting. And, with work, day trading, and just a lot of health issues in general, especially when it comes to my kids. It's been very challenging the last year and a half. I have three little ones running around. They all range in age from 2 years old to 5 and 9. Two of them are in school, which means that they are always getting sick, and anything they bring home, we rotate with the family. And the poor kids end up getting, sick with whatever we have, and then we get sick with whatever it is that the kids come home with, and then it's just a never-ending cycle. So it's really hard to get on here much. However, I decided that today I have some free time. I'm gonna start to maybe once a week come in for an hour, kind of like a pre-trade type of a deal, where I'm going to go and touch on the 10 stocks that I'm involved in. I'm actually involved in more than 10 stocks, quite honestly, but these are like my 10 commandeers per se. You know how like in the Bible there's the 10 commandments. I think that I've done pretty well for myself, and I kind of want to just share whatever knowledge I have at this point. On Discord, sometimes part of different groups in on YouTube or on X. I'm also on Instagram, and people just ask me on TikTok, "Hey, how do you do this? How do you become a better trader?" And quite honestly, you just have to do the work. There's no magic pill. At some point, you're just gonna have to buckle down and learn some of this stuff. But if I could make it any easier by giving you kind of like 10 companies that I actually am trading, and in the interest of full disclosure, I am trading these 10 companies. So whatever information I am giving you, it's got a little positive spin on it just because I am trading these stocks, and I obviously want them to do well. However, I try to remain always neutral, and that's one of the things that make me a successful trader, is that I try to remain in my neutral space and get off of my feelings. So although I may feel very good about a stock, if it's not performing well, or if I see some downside, I am quick to tell you this stock is weak. This stock has some downside to it. Either sell it or write some cover calls on it. I personally don't agree with the quick turns that a lot of people take when it comes to day trading. I don't buy a stock, wait for 2 days and short it and try to sell for more than I bought it for within the week or two, or like even a year. Any stock that I'm willing to hold, willing to put my hard-earned cash in, I am willing to hold at least 5 years. So that's kind of like the one of the the number one rules, or one of the top three rules that I have when it comes to trading, is whatever stock I own, I am going to hold at least 5 years. I just don't see a point in day trading. That's gambling. I quite honestly don't like gambling. I like gamblers, don't get me wrong. I like to sell my covered calls to the gamblers that think that they're gonna make a quick buck with my shares. That's just a no-no. I Any share that I make, I'm going to basically come out on top in, because I'm either going to sell a covered call for more than whatever the stock price point I jumped in at is, or I am just going to end up flat out just not even bothering to buy back that covered call, and it's going to die worthless, and so I'll keep the premium and I'm going to sell again. So that being said, I'm just going to jump in quick to the number one company that I hold out of the 10 companies that I'm going to be mentioning today that I am trading, so that you guys can have a better look at my portfolio. And so, number one company is PagerDuty. Okay, this is basically it's a tech company that is basically one of those companies that is just a metadata company, right? What they do is they sell their services um, to whatever company is willing, obviously, to pay, the price that they charge, so they can get metadata. And so they have, data in different streams of the tech world, and they're willing to share their data, so that companies can then optimize on whatever, field they want this data in. And so it helps them have kind of like an edge um, in whatever realm they're a company at. So that's like the number one company. um it's trading kind of in the 20s at this point. um the open interest on it when it comes to covered calls is not the sexiest, but I believe this company is probably going to be a 10 bagger in the next 5 years. So I'm willing to buy it. I don't know. I bought it in the 15s. So at this point, it's in the 20s. I keep selling covered calls at 15% more than what I, paid for is. And they just, I go to the 20s, 2250s. I go 3 months out, 6 months out, and they just keep on dying worthless. So I just rinse and repeat. That's kind of the approach that I've taken with this one. It's a sleeper. At this point, it runs, for a couple of weeks, then it stagnates and then either goes up a little bit or comes back down. So it's one of those where it takes 3 steps forward, then 2 steps back, or even 3 steps back, and then it'll come back up 2 steps again. It'll take another step back, and then 1 step or 2 steps forward. So it's one of those that if you look at it kind of, in a 6-month chart, it doesn't seem to move much. But if you zoom out, and that's one of my big things is when in doubt, zoom out. When it comes to a company, and you can see the graph a lot better, you're going to be able to see that then it's actually upwards trending. So I'm willing to give it, like I said, 5 years to see just how much of an upside potential it has. Up to this point, I'm up already 30% on it, so I have no issues with it. I'll just keep selling cover calls, obviously above where I bought it at. And if I get taken out, I get taken out. I'll just buy some more, whenever there's a pullback, go forwards, and rinse and repeat. That's pretty much my game. There is no secret to it. There is no magic pill. It's just, if you're a trader, and that's what one of the things, my channel is not really for beginners. So if you're a beginner, you're starting out and trying to figure out what an option is, what a put is, I'm not the one for you. Pretty much trying to reach those people that have put in a year or two of work and kind of are trying to take the next step, but are a bit frustrated with the way that the market is. And it's just one of those things where I guess I just try to give you as much information as I have so that you don't get discouraged, and just know that's just where the market is at this point. You can't time the market. You won't do well when it comes to timing the market. Just stay in it. Stay in it. Keep selling your covered calls. Keep selling your cash secure puts. And eventually you'll see that the stocks take off. Right now, we're kind of in a bearish market. I know that there's a lot of talk when it comes to, the Magnificent Seven or whatever you want to call them. That's it. That's just the 7 companies that have been making a ridiculous amount of cash just because they have so much money. They've been buying their stock. And that's one of the things that I think the media doesn't talk about. They say, oh my God, this company is making so much money. Well, yeah, but they had, $20 billion, $30 billion that they were able to put into their own companies so that they just buy more shares. And then, the shares go up in value, but it wasn't really retail that is buying them. It's themselves, the companies themselves that are putting all this money in so as to seem a lot healthier, especially when it comes to quarter earnings. Anyhow, UiPath is the one company. The next company, I'm sorry, PagerDuty was the first company. UiPath is the next company. So when it comes to UiPath, love it. Great company. Again, I bought it in the low teens. It's in the 20s. They're in everything, man. They're, one of those companies that, again, it's a metadata company as well. But the difference is that they're not universal. They're in banking and financial services. They're in healthcare. They're in supply chain. They're in HR. They actually they have a contract with Amazon, with Microsoft, with Google. They're in insurance. They're in the public sector. You know, they're in the private sector. Like I said, they're in healthcare. They're everywhere. So this is a company that is just basically in its infancy, if you will. And I just see a great potential when it comes to this company. At some point, this company is going to take a run, and it's not going to come back down ever. I see it at easily $100 a share in the next 5 years, and I don't think it's gonna come back down from that. You know, again, like I said, I own the company in the interest of full disclosure. I do want it to do well, right? But because of my due diligence in the way that I approach research, I just don't think I'm wrong when it comes to this company, you know? And thus far, I've been selling covered calls. Again, I go 15, 20% higher than where it's at, basically out the money, right? Go 3 months out, collect a nice premium, right? Come to Papa, and big chunks of premium dies worthless. I don't pay any type of fees because it dies worthless. My covered calls do, and so I just write another one. You know, I go 6 months out. I mean, 6 weeks out. You know, 2 months, 3 months. Take a big chunk, rinse and repeat. Love this company. I see myself holding it for at least 5 more years, if not 10. And I'm very, very intrigued as to how it's going to perform, but I think it's definitely going to do well. Next company, Amazon. Amazon is the third company in the 10 Commanders of the Credit Savage. Um, it's a everything company, man. It's a behemoth. Um, where are they not? Anything you need, you Amazon it, right? Personally, I tried to resist using Amazon. I try to, shop small, and I go down the street and try to. Even now, I shop at the small mom and pop, shops, but sometimes they're closed, or sometimes they just don't have what I need, and I just go on Amazon. My kid needs some shoes for school, da-da-da-da. Next day, Amazon has it there, man. I need soap, I love Flint Creek Soap Company. Flint Creek, shout out to you. Um, Love your soaps. My wife loves them. My daughter loves them. We all love them. But sometimes we just need something that's there the next day. And so, boom, here we go. I got some soap. Amazon's the next one. Uh, the next company that I would like to talk about after Amazon, since Amazon is such a behemoth and we know where it's going. All right, the downside potential is very low. Upside is extreme. So I don't think I need to touch too much on it because everybody knows Amazon at this point. I see it tripling, if not quadrupling, in the next 2 years, 3 years, and I'm holding it, and I write cover calls in it, Cash Secure puts in it, and I'm happy with it. The next company is Matterport. Matterport, man, I know it's one of those stocks that has been beaten to pulp. It's just stock market conditions at this point. We have supply. We have supply issues. They have a ton of gear that is just waiting in the docks that they can't move because supply chain issues, right? Um, and there's nothing they can do about that. However, it's a company that's growing right now. Real estate has taken a big beating because of interest rates, and for some odd reason, people correlate Matterport with real estate and automatically assume, oh, they're in real estate. That's not a company that's going to do well. But they're digital twins, man. The digital twins um, business model is definitely exciting. It's not just a real estate play; it's an insurance play. It's a telecommunications play. Um, it's an event planning play. It's if you start thinking outside the box and try to see just where Matterport is going to be and how vital it's going to become, it's a very exciting company. And right now, at $2 a share, I swear to God, man, if I had like loose change, $2 in my pocket, That's where it's going. It's going to buy a share of Matterport. People ask me, it's got really no premiums. I don't like it. It's like, dude, if you buy 100 shares for $2, that's $200, and you sell them for $250 in 3 months, you just made 20%. I don't understand how you can be arguing that's not a good move. You know, if you get a premium of, let's say, 20 cents, you already got 10% of the $2. And then you sell for 20%, that's a 30% play in 3 months. If you multiply that by 1,000,000, how the fuck is that not a great play? I don't understand what people are arguing. I don't understand what they don't like. If you don't understand how interest works and just how multipliers work, right, and numbers and math in general, I just can't help you. You're gonna have to go back to Math 101. There's Khan Academy on YouTube, but I assure you, if you put $10,000 in Matterport, and mind you, I'm not giving any type of legal advice. I'm not giving type of economic advice. I'm just giving you information at this point. But if I had $20,000 and I wanted it a company, people that ask me, at work, in my everyday life, what's a company that you think is going to do well? What's a company that I should be looking at? There's a ton of companies you could be looking at. But if you have $20,000 and you want 10,000 shares and you want to leave it alone, I would get Matterport and I would sell at $3, in December. I say, you know what? I bought it $2. I'm going to sell it at $3 and I'm going to get in, 30 cents, per contract. That right there, $20,000, right? That's 10,000 shares, and you bring in $3,000 in premium, and then you're willing to sell at $30,000. How is that not a win? I don't understand. How is that not a win? So you just have to then at that point, sit down and crunch numbers and say, you know what? I think this makes sense. Again, I really like the company. In the next 5 years, I see this company being $50, man. $50 easily. But again, people have to realize Matterport is not just a real estate play. Okay, it's more than that, but it's gonna take numbers and it's gonna take, some whales getting in action. I believe that there's actually some whales in it right now that are just cannibalizing all the stock that they can, but they don't want it to move too fast, because then they're going to pay more for what the stock is really worth to them right now. So right now what they're doing is they're loading up, which is what I personally am doing. Is whenever I sell covered calls with Matterport, I sell, 100, 200 contracts. Whatever money I get, I automatically put back into Matterport, thus bringing down my average, right? And then having access to selling more covered calls. How is that not a win? If I sell for more than what I bought, let's say I get taken out, I don't care, because I've already made my money and then some. At that point, I can evaluate and say, okay, I'm going to take half this money now and buy, more stock and then play again. Or I could move it on to something else. But at this point, I'm completely happy wheeling it and just keeping that rotation going. I've yet to get taken out on Matterport just because I sell, whenever there's big spikes, and I buy back whenever it's, a depressive stock, if you will, for pennies on the dollar, man. And that's the way you play the game. Next company that I'm going to be talking about, and I really like, Rivian. Rivian company is, I believe, company number 6 in the in my little 10 company portfolio that I am kind of, letting you guys know, to those who are curious what companies I'm trading and why. I really like their business model, man. They're not Tesla. They definitely not, but they're not going after the Tesla consumer. They're going after the F-150 consumer. And those trucks that Rivian has are very sweet. I don't know if you guys have seen them, but every day I come across 1 or 2 Rivian, man. And I'm in a position where I was with Tesla in 2016. When I would see 1 or 2 Teslas, and I would just look at my wife and say, hey, look, another Tesla. That's the same position I'm in with Rivian. I'm like, hey, look, another Rivian. We either see the SUV or we see the pickup truck. Either way, I'm excited because right now, obviously, their numbers are not necessarily the greatest. They just had quarter earnings and they got, they didn't beat. They weren't terrible, but they're just not where they're supposed to be. Again, the supply chain issues that having plaguing everyone in every industry. Rivian is no exception. Tesla's in the same boat. Lucid is in the same boat. You know, Toyota, Nissan, Dodge, Ford. Everyone is on the same boat. So it's not an issue with Rivian. Their business model is great. Their cars, amazing. I honestly cannot wait to get me a Rivian. We're just waiting for the right time. We're waiting for interest rates to come down. And that's one of my other things. If you really like a company, right, and you really are about it and you own it, invest in it. It's that simple. You like Nikes? Wear Nike stuff. Why not? If you're already buying Nike, then buy their stock. If you have a Tesla, why wouldn't you buy the stock? It makes no sense. You're just making your company better because then that money you're putting into the company, they're using for R&D. Anyhow, Tesla is one of those companies that I'm very bullish on. And I'm so glad that it's coming down to this point because I finally get to buy where I wanted. And I'm just gonna start loading up, man. I'm gonna start loading up and I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. And then when I'm ready, I'm gonna just beast it. Just beast it, go savage mode on it, and try to make as much money as I can because it's beautiful where it's at right now. Anyways, Rivian. Rivian is at $10 right now, man. $10. This was a $100 stock at a point. I just don't understand. If people were excited at $100 for Rivian, why wouldn't you be excited at $10? It's a 90% discount, 93% discount. Holy shit. What if there was a sale at Louis Vuitton or a Chanel where for one day shit went 93% off? I assure you they would people wouldn't be able to come in. There would be riots. It'd be fucking insane. Why can't you take the same approach with Rivian? I just don't get it. I like Rivian at 20. I didn't buy at 100. I bought at 20. Okay. And then I bought it at 12. I averaged down all the way to 13, 14. Then I rode it all the way to the 20s. Kept selling my covered calls. I was very aggressive. Took in a lot of premium, baby. A lot of premium. And at this point, I'm playing with house money. Why not? And I'm just going to keep on. I'm going to keep on dumping in it because I believe in the company. I like their business model. I like their cars, man. You can go 400, 450 miles on an SUV, four-wheel drive in the snow on a Rivian. Are you kidding me, man? I'm in California, right? So to me, I love it. I take trips all the time with the family. It's 5 or 6 of us sometimes. There is no motor on this joint, all right? There is no engine per se. So it's just a battery. The wherever the engine goes, that's all space where I can put my luggage. In the back, there's so much space with these cars. I love it. I have 3 kids. And they act like they're 6 kids, but I assure you, we do take a lot of stuff with us when we go and take trips. I love this car. It's got so much space. I just don't see my life without it. I just don't want to pay 7 or 8%, interest on that loan. So I'm going to wait until our interest rates come down to the 4s, and then I'm probably going to buy a Rivian. But at this point, I'm at the stock, baby. I'm at the stock, and I'm having that stock pay me premium so that whenever I'm ready to buy the car, guess what? I'm going to pay it with premium from the Rivian covered calls. You tell me that's not a win? I don't care. I don't care where you at. That's a win in my book. Next stock in the 10 Commandeers of the Credit Savage is, like I said, Tesla. Tesla, baby. I like it. I like that at 200. I like that at 300. I like that at 500. I fucking love it at 170, 180. Are you kidding me? I am selling covered cash secured puts at this point, and I'm being very aggressive. I'm taking in $9, $10 to come in 4 weeks, 3 weeks, and as soon as there's a big upside because that's what Tesla does, I buy them back. I buy them back and I make $5-6 quickly. Then wait for it to dip again, do it again. Another two cash secure puts. Make another $500-600 in a day or two, do it again. Once it hits the 80 level, that's when I go beast mode. I want to get assigned on these calls. Biggest mistake people make is think that Tesla is a car company. Wrong. Tesla is not a car company. Not just a car company. It's actually a artificial intelligence company. And when you knuckleheads get that through your head, it'll make a lot of sense. Tesla is an artificial intelligence company. They're a metadata company. They're an energy company. Once people start seeing what Tesla is about and just where we're going with it, your mind is going to be blown, man. Tesla is a $4,000 stock. Let me say that again. Tesla, as it is right now, is a $4,000 or $5,000 stock. People are not feeling me right now because, I don't know, they haven't done their due diligence. Every company that I'm talking about today, to you here, I've done at least 100 hours of research on. Let me repeat that. Every company that I'm talking about right now that I invest in and put my hard-earned cash in, I have done at least 100 hours of research on each individual company. You know why? Because I am not going to work my ass off to put money that I paid taxes on and just dump it in a fire. I'm just not going to do that. I'm going to dump it in a fire pit and have it blow up in smoke. That's not what I do. What I do is I do long-term investments. All right? I'm not a shorter. I'm an investor. In my type of investments, I either sell cash secure puts on and I wheel them, or I just straight up buy the stock and sell cover calls in. And I'm a long investor, baby. I'm not a shorter. I am, like I said, investing in companies that I'm willing to hold 5 to 10 years. That is my number one rule. If you're going to invest in a company that you believe in, that you like, that you've done research on, and that, yes, you're willing to go to zero in. Because what? I go down with the ship. I've done so much research, and I'm so secure in my research and how much I fucking learned and all the fucking work I put in to my to me just gaining all this knowledge about a company that I dig my heels in, and I'm willing to go down with the company and I just sell cover calls. That's how I'm able to soften that blow. But at this point, no company that I have, even Matterport, no company that I have at this point, I'm underwater in. And that's a fact. So, Tesla, I really like it. 10 years from now, $5,000 a share. Take it to the bank. Next company, Unity, baby. Unity. All these companies that I'm mentioning, you can sell cash cover calls in or cash secure puts. Next company is Unity. It's right now, I think, in the 30s. It's taking a hit. They had a little bad PR move when it comes to their CEO doing some dumb shit in the past and trying to kind of revisit their business model. It didn't work. And I think he got canned, right? So now Unity is going to have their quarter earnings pretty soon. And I personally am very excited. I'm selling a shitload of cash secure puts in the 30s. Going 6 weeks out, 3 months out, because I honestly think that it may have a little of a downside at the moment just because the PR move was pretty bad and it upset the stock to the point where it came down like 20-30%. It's still kind of recovering from that, but if you're into video games, okay, if you're a content creator, or if you are in any of their platforms, if you're in any type of tech company, you know Unity, man. You know Unity, especially if you're in the video game industry. They have 3.6 billion downloads per month. Let me repeat that. 3.6 billion downloads per month. How the fuck is that not a good business model? If you have 3.6 billion downloads per month, you're in the money. At this point, Unity is just getting shorted. It's getting shorted by hedge funds. I think they've shorted it too much. It's not supposed to be there. Unity should be $60 right now, if not 75. But we are where we are. And again, I'm not one of those people that are gonna say I'm just gonna hold. I can't do that. You know, I have to do what the stock tells me. And what is that? The stock is telling me that we are $30. So I'm selling $40, $35 calls. And I've gone far as the stock was at $35, so I sold 37.50s, for December, for January 2025. Why? Because I wanted 11 or 12 or 13 or $14 in premium, baby. That's how I do it. That's how it should be done. That's how a option trader does it. If you're an option trader and you get $14 in a $30, $35 stock, that's almost goddamn half of what your cost basis is. Why wouldn't you take it? That's 40%. Why wouldn't you do that? It makes no sense to me. Yes, I am the guy formerly known as the Credit Savage. I'm actually still the Credit Savage. I'm the Credit Savage of Wall Street. Uh, so that's where we are right now. Anyhow, yes, Unity is a great company. It's they're in film, they're in games, they're in the tech industry. They are a behemoth. They're about to have game developers in San Francisco. And let me tell you, every time I attend game developers, I see Unity everywhere. You go to any of the events that are taking place, all right? They have different presentations, hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of presentations. And the game developers that present from every company always have Unity. I'm willing to say up to 80 to 90% of game developers are using the Unity platform. That's insane. So if Unity's anywhere to 80 to 90 or in 80 to 90% of where the game developers are at right now, that they're using Unity for their platforms, Unity's going up. It's going up. This is a $100 stock. Willing to hold it for another 5 to 10 years easily. So I'm along for the ride, baby. Another of the companies, Roblox. How can I not like Roblox? I bought it at 20. I've been trading it ever since. I go 6 months out. I go a year out. I come back in and then come back out. It's a cash cow basically, and I like it. I definitely like it. And they have Robux, man. My kid's always talking about Roblox. Her friends are always talking about Roblox and Robux and spending money in the digital world. What the fuck? Are you serious? But that's where the kids are. They don't have any idea of how things are working. They're just like, I want to do what my friends are doing. I want to live in a digital world. I want this golden unicorn cup that costs 5 Robux. That's where we're at. And again, what do you care? You're a parent. You're like, sure, here's $20. Have at it. As long as my daughter's happy and content and she's smiling, whether it is that I buy her a soccer ball or 20 Robux for her to play with her friends in an imaginary world, in the Roblox world, I don't care. Point is, I have the stock. I know where it's going. Roblox is building right now for the future. They're doing exactly what Disney did. Their business models are the same. They're not thinking 3-4 years down the line. They're thinking 20, 30 years down the line. Those kids that right now are getting ingrained with all these Roblox feed in their heads are going to become teenagers and adults. And I assure you, Roblox is going to stay with them. They'll find a way because they have a lot of very smart people working in the background, making sure that these kids stay with the company from infancy into young adulthood and then adulthood. I like the company. Cash secure puts work. Anytime it goes to the 35s, sell some cash secure puts. If you have the company right now and you own the stock, sell some 40s, sell some 45s for 3 months out. Why not? It makes some money, man. This is a cash cow. Another company. It's and I probably think that my favorite one of them, C3.ai, tickers AI, love it. I've been trading this company for going on 2.5, 3 years now. I loved it when I bought it first in the 20s, It went down to the tens. I added a lot, and I am sure glad I did because I've been selling covered calls on it ever since. 20s, I sold 2250s, then in 25s, then 2750s, then 40s, 35s, 4250s. I sold 3 months out, 6 months out, a year out. Right now, I've sold, I think, some cash secure puts that some some amazing people, great gamblers out there. Thank you for giving me $800 on 2250 cash secure puts for 2026, thus bringing my average, if those calls are ever put to me, to 1450. I'm okay owning AI at 1450. So great open interest, great volatility, make a ton of money. You just got to know when to come in. The more you deal with this company, the more you see how it moves, the more flexible that you stay, the more that you're going to see that it's definitely one of those companies that can make you a lot of money. You just gotta be able to bear to see it go really fast up or really fast down. Don't get scared. Don't get scared at all. Just know that's how the stock moves. Um, Try to trade it in a day or on a day that it moves up 10-15%. Sell some covered calls on one of those days. Take a big chunk, right? Take $3, $4, $5 in premium. Make sure that that's just premium time money. Don't try to go in the money on AI because it's one of those that it can come back down fast and it'll just break your heart. So I say deal with it because it's an emotional girlfriend. That's the best way I can put it when it comes to C3.ai. It's an emotional girlfriend. You can definitely make a lot of money with it, but you have to stick with it, and you got to be able to just lose the stock, lose it. You buy it at 27.50. You sell some 30s for 6 months out. You bring in $5 a premium. You just made a killing, man. If you get taken out 6 months from now, you don't want to roll your calls. Bravo, my friend. That's how the game is played. You just made almost $1,000 in a $2,700 investment. That is not shabby at all. And if you then, for whatever reasons, decide, hey, you know what, I like it, I'm going to go back in, I say go in. Sell some cash secure puts on it until you get a sign, and then sell some covered calls in it. That's how you treat AI, man. No emotion, just see how the stock moves and try to beast it whenever you see opportunity. It's that type of play. It's a stallion. Don't try to tame it. Don't just see how it moves and go with the flow, man. AI will definitely make you a lot of money. Just don't get emotionally invested because it's just not gonna work. Lastly, the one company that I've been waiting to talk about in number 10 in the Credit Savages top 10 stocks to look at and to trade and perhaps hold 5 to 10 years. SoFi, baby. SoFi, probably my largest holding. They just signed a deal with the NBA. Fucking smart. You know why? Because they're already in the NFL. They have SoFi Stadium where the Chargers play and where the Rams play. So they get exposure throughout the season. Two teams play on that stadium. And they're always using that stadium because there's always concerts. There's always something going on. Monster Jam. Taylor Swift has concerts. Young Lil Wayne, Jay-Z, Beyonce, Ariana Grande, Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre. We're in LA, baby. We're in LA. For Shizzle Manizzle, that's how it's done. Okay, so SoFi has nothing to prove, when it comes to the NFL because their CEO used to be one of the top heads of the NFL. He has connections. So what did? They went with the NBA. Now they're in the NBA. You're going to see SoFi everywhere. SoFi is going to have 10 million users, my friends. SoFi is going to be $50 a share, my friend. But not yet. Not yet. And that's the deal. And if you're waiting for me to sell you some spy in the sky, that's not me. Remember what I said when we began this video. is I'm not going to tell you, even though I like a stock and even though I own a company, I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. I'm telling you, as neutral as I can be, the facts. The facts are SoFi is getting shorted. The facts are SoFi just turned their first quarter with profit, but it very small profit. Okay, give it time. We have three more quarters, and then when they have 4 quarters that they've been positive on and they've turned profit, they're eligible to get into the S&P 500. That's where we're off to the races. Okay, right now, cover calls, baby. Cover calls. We just had a nice little run up. I sold some $10 cover calls for April 19th. Totally content with them. They were almost $1. At this point, they're like 20 cents. I'm not giving anything back, baby. I'm taking everything from them. All right? So that's how I roll. SoFi is here to stay. SoFi is going to make me a lot of money. SoFi is going to make you a lot of money if you get in it right now. When is the best time to get into SoFi, savage? Right now, dummy. I hate people that say, I'm waiting for it to go to 6. I say it's going to go to 6 a lot because I see how the stock moves and I see the shorters and I'm like, it could go to 6. But nothing is for sure. So if stock is at 8, that's where it's at. I'm totally okay selling cash secure puts at the 8 level, 3 months out. And then keeping the premium or getting assigned. Any price point under $10 for SoFi is a steal, especially where it's going. Because although right now they've only turned a profit for 1 quarter, they're going to turn a profit for a lot more quarters. And this deal they just inked with the NBA is going to get them more exposure. More exposure, guess what? It means more members. More members means more products. More products mean more money coming into SoFi. Okay? They already have cut their costs like 95% when it comes to traditional banking. They are a bank. Make no mistake, they are a bank. But they're not just a bank. They're a one-stop shop. They can do mortgage loans. They could do credit cards, personal loans, student loan refinancing. Come on, man. If you tell me that's not where the money is, I don't know what to tell you, man. But at this point, you're going to ask yourself, if you were to take a risk on any company, I say Matterport or SoFi. That's where I'm at. People at work are always saying, oh, SoFi, I don't know, because I don't see any type of, branches. I like to go into the bank. When the fuck was the last time you went into a bank, dumbass? When was the last time you went into a bank personally? Well, I just went a year ago. Like a year ago? Really? So if you don't go into a bank anymore, what's the point of you paying a bank to have tellers, to have security, to pay for, whatever mortgage they're paying, whatever rent they're paying insurance on that. Okay, that's ridiculous amounts of money that could be going to your pockets. And that's what SoFi is doing. They're just cutting the middleman straight up. So that's where the money is. I say, hey, you have $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, buy some SoFi. If you don't want to be dealing with covered calls, cash secure puts and all that, and you're just a regular investor, and you're like, I just want my money to grow, buy some fucking SoFi. Buy some Matterport, go to sleep, come back in 2 years, talk to me. Anyways, I'm the Credit Savage. Thank you for watching. I just wanted to give you guys insight on the companies that I'm trading, in an everyday basis. I'm trading like 30, but these are my top 10 that I would tell anyone about. Anyone that asks, anyone that says, hey, Savage, what's the one company that I would like? There is not one company. There's 10 companies at least that I would definitely recommend you go in, because these companies are going to take off. And when they take off, they're not coming back down, buddy. These are going to make ridiculous amounts of money. Each and every one of these companies that I just talked about is at least $100 a share in the next 5 years. You want to make some serious money? You want to change your life? Dude, this is where it's at. You just got to have some balls. You got to have some balls and say, you know what? I'm going to fucking go on a diet. I'm going to stop going to the fucking restaurants and spending 60, 70, $80 on a meal, you know, with my girlfriend. We're gonna eat some ramen for a year. Make a fucking tough decision. You know, I did it, and if I did it, I know you can do it. Make a tough decision and say, I'm gonna fucking buckle down. I'm gonna eat ramen and spaghetti for a year, some fucking rice and beans and just water. I'm not gonna spend money in fucking in spirits and liquor and in beer and wine, any of that shit. I'm not gonna go take trips. I'm just gonna go for walks. I'm gonna, with my significant other, make it a case so that, you know, we're gonna just save all our money and then put all our money and dump it into the stock market, into these companies. And then in 2 years, when they start flying and you see how money has grown and how your decision paid off, you're gonna come back to them and be like, Savage, you motherfucker, you were right. Thank you for giving me those words. Thank you for fucking letting me know about these companies, and you were right. You were right. And you know why I know that works? Because I did it. And if I'm a dumbass and I was able to do it, you for sure can. I'm the Credit Savage. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate you guys. Give me a thumbs up. You know, make a positive comment there. Ask some questions or whatever. You know, I'm not really, you know, into commenting right now when it comes to the live, because I'm trying to get with the kids right now and get them ready for bed. They got school tomorrow. But see you guys in the next one. And remember, cash is king, yes. But credit is power, baby.